District number 8-2 and pay sewer district number 16 into sewer district number 1. And that the town board and the town of Tupper Lake will hold a public hearing on the said proposed local law at the town hall, 120 Demars Boulevard, Tupper Lake, New York, 12986 at 6 p.m. on Thursday, December 12th, 2019, at which time all interested persons will be heard. A copy of the proposed local law is available in the town clerk's office at 120 Demars Boulevard, Tupper Lake, New York, 12986 for public review, and this was published by Lori J. Fuller, town clerk. So, for those of you who just came in, we're opening the public hearing on sewer district consolidation local law number 2019-1. So, this is a local law to consolidate the paid off sewer districts, which were paid off in 2019, which was district number 8-2, which is the second phase of Haymeadow, and then the sewer district number 16 was what they used to refer to as Broad Street Extension. And so those two sewer districts have been paid off in 2019, so we're gonna roll those into what is now sewer district number 1. And this consolidation process will happen as districts get paid off. So we appointed a engineer meeting or so ago to do some mapping upgrades to get that in there, and that's all part of our action. We have quite a bit of action to take on that process this evening, but we're starting with sewer district number 1 consolidation. Does anyone have a question or would like to make a comment? The public hearing on sewer district number 1 is open.
How many sewer districts are left?
I think we were 11,
Yeah,
so
I
that'll
think
drop us
there's
down
11.
to 9. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to think how many water, there were 7, right?
Hopefully someday get them all
I
down.
think we had 7 water.
One or two.
So,
Does that make any difference to the public, technically?
no, what it is years ago, if you came to the town and asked to have a sewer district because you lived in an area where all the neighbors had septic systems, and they wanted to get hooked up to the village sewer through the town, then we would go into the process of engineering and study and bonding and all that it took, and that would be its own district, so it had a number. So we were up to 23 sewer districts and 27 water districts. And then through a consolidation study we did with the Department of State and our friends at DAKE, we consolidated those, all the ones that were already paid off, all throughout the 23 sewer, we brought it down to 11, I think. Don't quote me on those numbers. And
like
so.
when I first came up here on Littlefields Road,
Pardon?
like when I first moved up here on Littlefields Road,
Yeah,
did they have a sewer district?
no, they do now though.
They do now?
Yeah, 2009, I believe it went in. That one will,
23.
it's District 23, which will probably never be
Tupper
paid
Lake
off.
probably has a record for the most number of water and sewer districts of
We do,
any
In all of
town,
New York State,
I
Yeah.
would believe.
it was at the
Yeah.
time.
and
So
we,
we're consolidating, and it's really for administrative purposes. It's gonna make it much easier on staff when it prepares bills and
Yeah.
sends bills out.
well, and then if some of them are all around the same age, within a couple of years of each other, and say some renovations need to be done, or improvements need to be done, or repairs, and it's costly, you have a lot more people helping to pay for it.
Okay.
Because the town just is the mechanics for the payment. The residents of the district pick up the tab for it, so.
So when it gets paid off, they move it to sewer district number 1. Everybody in sewer district number 1 would pay for any major renovations that have to happen. Instead of that group of,
Oh,
say,
okay.
50 people paying for it, you got 300 people paying for
Yeah. So it makes it a little more
it. Easier.
affordable. And the paperwork that we file annually, both with Franklin County and the state, is nice. This drags me up.
I knew it would.
Sorry.
That's all right.
How old were you there, Patty?
I'm like
Just a kid.
19 maybe, a long, long time ago. Oh my God, thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
You're funny.
Trip down
Waiting,
there.
Madeline.
We were
waiting for you.
Madeline,
same
where the
thing
hell
will
you been?
happen.
Where you been?
We're gonna process this, if no one has any more questions or comments, we'll close this hearing, and then we will go right into number 3 on my agenda. Did you guys have any more questions on this, Dan, or? So now we're gonna
Other than
close,
when that picture was taken?
it would have been 19, probably 76.
Were you in 7th grade there, or what?
It's 19. I'm old, Dan, like you.
No, Patty, you're not old.
Right behind you. On my public hearing list, we're at item number 3, which is we will open the public hearing for Water District Consolidation Local Law number 2. And I'll read that public hearing
Do we
notice.
have to close the first public
We
hearing?
did,
Okay,
yep, I just did.
all right.
Close the public hearing and open the second public hearing. The notice of public hearing on local law. Lori, you're putting times on those by chance?
Yep, the
Okay.
first one started at 6, the
Yep.
second one starts at 6:05.
Notice of public hearing on local law. Notice is hereby given that there has been introduced at a meeting of the town board of the town of Tupper Lake, Franklin County, New York, a proposed local law number 2 of the year 2019 entitled a local law to consolidate paid water district number 8-2 and paid water district number 16 into water district number 1. And that the town board of the town of Tupper Lake will hold a public hearing on the said proposed local law at the town hall, 120 Demars Boulevard, Tupper Lake, New York, 12986 at 6:05 p.m. on Thursday, December 12th, 2019, at which time all interested persons will be heard. A copy of the proposed local law is available in the town clerk's office at 120 Demars Boulevard, Tupper Lake, New York, 12986 for public review. And this was posted as a legal notice by Lori J. Fuller, town clerk. So we are now going to talk about the same thing, only it's water district number 8.2 and and water district number 16, which are in the same geographic area as the sewer districts, and that being the second phase of what we call the second phase of Hay Meadow and what we also refer to as Broad Street Extension. So again, those are paid districts now, they're paid off, and they will flow into District 1. Eventually, all the paid districts, as they become paid off, and there's no more debt to those districts, we will roll them into District 1, so we will be dropping our numbers of districts down as we proceed with that. So does anyone have any questions or comments?
Oh, does this comes under the same as you were saying about the sewer then? that
Exactly.
they'll just- A lot of people pay for it instead of a few.
Right,
Okay.
same thing. Yep.
Water district and sewer district.
I guess same question, how many water districts are left?
I guess I'm gonna say I think there's 7.
Okay.
7 left.
No, 7. There were 7, now there'll be 5. Does that make sense?
I think you did. I think those numbers are right. They're easy enough to check. Somebody can get back to you with
Okay.
the exact numbers, but I think that's right. I think it was 7.
Oh, you mean 7 left? Oh.
7 that has to be incorporated into one someday.
Yeah, so eventually, and I don't have that information with me down here tonight, but we do have a spreadsheet upstairs with our budget paperwork and our financial statements that define when each district will be paid off. So we will know that, about when we'll be down to, I'm not too sure when we'll get, Sewer District 23 is a long time out, so we've got another several years before that happens.
That's because of all the
Yeah.
lift stations and things.
Yeah, that was a very expensive and very large district, so that'll be a while. So if there's no more questions or comments on that procedure, we will close the public hearing. And at this time, we'll open the regular meeting. at 6:12 PM. So I'm gonna go to my regular agenda for a moment. Call the regular meeting to order. We're gonna, before we take action on these districts, we'll open the public comment period of the regular meeting for 3 minutes. If anyone would like to address the board in a public comment for,
Well, I'll just make it as quick as possible. Just give you a copy of what was sent for Thanksgiving from Governor Como.
okay,
This Patty's copy.
thank you.
Here's a copy for Danny
Exciting. Ooh.
and a copy for Aaron.
You on Cuomo's Christmas card list now, John? That's impressive. Wow.
Huh?
Are you on his Christmas card list now?
Whatever you want to do with it. I have a question here, and I'm not gonna get into any big discussion or anything, I don't wanna get into it. You remember the email that I gave you from, Watertown in regards to, direction on page 1 and page 5, that you were going, direction, that you should plow the sidewalk across from our house.
Do I remember the email? I mean, I remember you giving me an email. I'd have to go back and reread it.
You wanna reread it?
No, I don't need to reread it if that's what you're saying is in it.
Yes. That
Okay.
you were directed from the, Department of Highway from Watertown, that you were directed to plow.
I was directed by the state through your email to plow?
Yes.
Okay,
Maintain all sidewalks in the town constructed by the state adjacent to state highways, and all sidewalks in the town constructed by the county adjacent to county roads, when authorized by the town board, cause the removal of snow thereof, and cost thereof shall be paid for the miscellaneous or other town funds. And you have not done that. Why haven't you plowed the sidewalk on Route 30 across from Sunmount? Or are you not going to do that?
well, I don't plow myself,
Well,
but
I
the
know you
town
don't,
has,
but you have
the
a
town,
plow.
the
You do
highway
have a plow
department
that goes
plows.
there.
But we don't have a sidewalk plow for one thing, we have a big plow truck set plow.
Well, I seen the plow go down here on the
That-
sidewalk.
That's the village plow, John. The village plows the sidewalks.
Well, why don't you contact with them and have plow the sidewalk?
That's a discussion our highway superintendent would have to have. By the way, I do see plowing, remains on that sidewalk. I don't know what those little snowbanks are for, if it's from driveway plowers or what, but there's some plowing going on of some sort up there I saw.
Yeah, we have our driveway plowed.
Yeah, so they plow it onto the sidewalk.
They plow, so your fire hydrant is clear.
Oh, is that what they
Here's
do?
your copy, page 1 and page 5. Here's your copy, page 1 and page 5.
What's the date on your email on that, John?
July 22nd.
Pardon?
July 22nd.
July 22nd,
Okay.
11:14.
Okay. Well, I don't have an answer for you on that right at this minute. We are not ready to take over that sidewalk at this time, and we've said that many times when you've come here.
Well, when are you gonna be ready?
A bit of probably after we have more discussion with DOT. I can't answer that question.
You can't answer
I
that.
don't know when.
Okay. Well, let you know also,
But
that all the sidewalk issues, all the packets that we have on Monday has gone out to Andrew.
pardon?
All the packages, all the information,
Okay,
all the documentation has gone out through the post office, registered, receipt requested
uh-huh,
to Andrew Como
mhm,
Monday.
okay,
And we just got this back from him, signed by him,
okay,
that he's got it all.
good,
And he will get back to me on his comments, because he's asked me personally to get back to him with any comments and any problems that I have in the town. Now, I'm gonna discuss this with you, and I know you're not gonna like this, but someone has come forward. I gotta take this, because I have 4 stents put in my heart, so I have to be very careful. Got to keep using my voice. This, I'll call it a whistleblower.
Mhm.
Okay, a whistleblower, whether it's a male or a female. I cannot give you the name according to the law. Has told the group, that you have a slush fund. And it's quite
What amount?
It's quite large. Now, if you had taken some of this money and fixed that sidewalk from one end to the other, if you'd been smart enough to do that, we wouldn't be here. Now, if I was allowed to tell you what the name of that person was, you would probably have a seizure.
Probably not.
No, I'm sure you would. So anyways,
Is he talking about the fund balance?
I think there's one more here. I think that's about all I'm going to say tonight.
Okay, well, that's good, because it's just a public comment period. This is not a debate session.
No, it's not gonna be a
It's a
debate.
com-
session.
it's a
I think
comment
we're gonna do
period.
what we do.
And we're happy to take your comments. And they are duly noted. We thank you for that.
Yep. Any other comments will come from Andrew.
Okay.
Okay, when you had your budget meeting here, according to the newspaper, it said that it was gonna start at 6 o'clock. You actually started it at 5, which is against the open government law. If you're gonna change the date, you should have published it.
We did publish it for 5. We had a work session
At 5,
at 5 o'clock,
not a public.
which is open to the public, which the 2 members of the press sitting here today were at least
No,
one.
only Aaron was here.
That's away.
Only Aaron was here.
Dan was away. It was published as a work session of the board. We didn't need to put it in a legal notice because it wasn't a legal notice issue. It was a regular work session that is open. Mr. Lanthier and I had this conversation already because it was a misunderstanding, if you recall.
Well, the newspaper says a primary budget on Tuesday, October 29th at 6 p.m.
That
Not
was,
5 p.m.
That's a work
6
session
p.m.
at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock was the work session,
work
6
session.
o'clock was the public hearing. We were all here at 5 o'clock, including the press, to continue to work on the budget until the public hearing
Which is
started at
one of
6
many.
o'clock, which is one of the several
Well, I
work
am told
sessions.
that it should have been an open, it's against the open government law.
We
We
did
didn't
not
do nothing
violate
wrong.
the open government law because we notified the public at the previous meeting, and it was posted on our website and on the bulletin board that we were having a work session that is open to the public, and obviously the press knew about it because they were here.
Only Aaron was here.
Well, he's the
Dan was
press.
out of town
We
then.
didn't call Aaron and invite him.
I mean,
paid
I
attention.
don't come down here to read what's on your wall.
It was
All I
notified
saw was the one that was in the newspaper.
that,
That's right, and it was right.
and
It said
that's
6 o'clock.
That's
for a
when we
public
started
hearing.
it.
A public hearing has to be published in a legal notice. The regular meetings do not need to be published in a legal notice. They need to be notified publicly by means of the previous meeting. We set the date for the next meeting, and we put it on the bulletin board and our website, and we remind all the board with an email to come to the meeting. But we don't put it.
That was our 3rd or 4th
Yeah.
work session that we worked
There
together.
was
I
nothing.
don't come down here to read your bulletin board.
It doesn't
Why
matter,
would
you're
you?
at all the meetings and you read the results of the meetings in the paper and they're all there
But
and
it
those
didn't say
dates
you
were
were
there.
gonna meet at 5 o'clock.
It's a
A
work
work
session.
session was our
Could
meeting.
I remind the board that this is a public comment period, it's not a
But,
public
you know,
debate.
I just,
I'd like to move on. Thank you.
I agree with you, John, except there was no violation, and I will say
No,
that
not.
loud and clear. You can accuse us of anything you want, which you two seem to like to do, but that was not a violation, nor is any of our meetings a violation of any open meeting law. Thank you for your comment. Holy crow. Would anyone else like to address the board? Good? Okay, we'll move on. So we are at the establish the agenda. I do have one thing to add to the agenda myself this evening, and this is, which we will call way over on the back page, under new business, 16.12, and that is to, regarding the agreement for cross-country ski trails at the Tupper Lake Golf Course.
I'd like to add to talk about the repair of a piece of town equipment,
Okay,
probably under
new
town
business.
department. Would that go under the department reports or?
To take act, we can talk about it then, and then we can take action on it.
Okay.
Under new business, Mike, on 16.13, and that is highway equipment.
Highway equipment?
Yeah. And we have the other one on there, right, for the auction?
Yep.
Gloria? Okay. Okay, very good. Anything else, John or Teresa?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Next on the agenda, number 11, is to approve the abstract of audited vouchers in the amount of, hold on, I gotta find my amount of.
If it's 100, do that,
$160,450.73.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Number 12, to approve the minutes for the meetings dated October 16th, October 22nd, and October 29th as submitted.
Do we wanna, do we wanna?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the
Prepaid
budget
vouchers
transfers,
and
yep.
and transfers?
Approve the budget transfers as submitted by the town accountant in the amount of $28,225.45.
Moved.
John,
That's a second.
Tracy? Roll call vote?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll approve the minutes for the
What about
meetings.
that was,
What about the,
that was a prepaid debit and vouchers, now it's budget transfers?
oh, sorry, I gave you the wrong number.
Prepaid vouchers are $42,584.85.
That's all part of the 160. The 42 and the 17 equals 160. They're not separate. That's all in this sheet right there.
Oh, okay,
Okay, so we're good. We got the 160 covered, and
Sorry.
we got
My
the
apologies.
28,000 covered.
Okay.
Okay? That's just the detail of them on the second page,
So the
okay?
42 is right here.
Yeah, you see where
I
we're
do.
looking at?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So now we are at, to approve the minutes for the meetings dated October 16th, 22nd, and 29th as submitted by the clerk.
I'll move it.
Mike,
I'll second.
Tracy, any questions or comments on those minutes? Roll call vote, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Then, the town department monthly reports. We have code enforcement and the youth activities. Cross-country skiing started on Tuesday with a hike on the trails. Maybe they're skiing today. The tumbling is over, and we'll start that up again at another time.
Big hit. The tumbling has turned out to be a
it's a wild one.
fabulous,
Yeah,
very inexpensive.
yeah, it's a great program. Kids love it.
And, as Angie says, she'd like to thank Karen Bombard and Tammy Richardson for providing with additional equipment and to Peg and the library staff for having us there. That's good. It's
Yeah.
a very good.
I've been to it a couple times, and it's really, the kids have so much fun. It's a riot. Okay. And our highway department report. Sanding and plowing and any questions or comments on those reports? We did get an inspection report from Ag and Markets this week. They popped in at the dog pound, and everything was crystal clear and very, very satisfactory in that report. And also, I get this email from the grants alert, and there's a grant, Angie's looking into it through the assembly for dog pounds and that sort of thing. So Angie's doing some research on it to see if it's anything that we might be able to take advantage of to make some improvements down there. So that, more on that to follow. Could I have a motion to approve the monthly reports as submitted by the town departments?
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Mike?
I just make, Wayne, he was gonna try to get here, but he couldn't, but he did text me what had happened if you wanna read
Oh,
that,
okay.
so, or whatever, so it's in here.
Okay, so we'll get that turned in for the next one.
Okay.
Okay, roll call vote please.
Aye.
And we're on to committee reports. What have you got, Michael?
Last night, Patty and I met with the Country Club Board of Directors. They had their monthly meeting, and it was a good turnout. They talked about their budget. They've done well this year. I'm not going to say that they're rolling in cash, but they
Have a higher balance than they've had in about
Yes.
10 years.
They made an
And
extra
then
payment to us this
There's
summer. They made one at the beginning of the summer, they made one at the end. They have money to start up next year. I take my hat off to this board of directors. They're go-getters, and hopefully they're gonna stick around, and I believe that's what their mission is, to stick together and move forward with the mission of the course, and things are doing well. Again, I'm not saying that they're rich or anything, but they're paying their bills. They have requested that we help them replace the town equipment that we had in the kitchen up there. And they would like us to get 2 pieces of equipment if we could possibly do it. A stainless steel 3-bay sink that's required by the Department of Health, and a faucet for that, and a dishwasher. We did have those things in there that were property of the town, and in the course of the last vendor that was there, being substandard, it was removed and discarded as scrap, because that's basically what they were. And the last vendor brought his own stuff in. Well, they have a vendor that's coming in, and they're trying to make things go well for this new vendor, and they're asking if we could do that. They are going to in turn Jerry tried to send the list to Patty
Yeah, he
today,
sent
but
an
it didn't
email
come
and-
through. But they're buying a stove, a fryer, a cooking sandwich.
Refrigerated sandwich board, sandwich maker, deli things.
I think they're willing to spend up to $5,000 to $7,000, which was approved last night, in the kitchen. Which, in the days when the club had a lease with a vendor. The money that they got from the vendor, I believe was $4,500 per summer. They would take that money and invest it back into the club.
Clubhouse.
The clubhouse, excuse me, yes. Over the few years of dry seasons of cash, they use the money to operate. They're back where they feel that they want to take the monies that they get and start investing into the building itself again. They did make it very clear that everything that they purchase for the kitchen will belong to the town after. They're not trying to say, oh, this is ours, this is yours. Everything they purchase in writing will be property of the town. So I think they're making a good faith effort to try to get things rolling again and get that place back to where it is. They completely gutted the kitchen out and cleaned it. They had a professional industrial commercial cleaner come in, and the place looks the best that I've seen it. Well, there's nothing in there, so it's nice. They're really on top of it. So I would like to entertain looking at the pieces that they would like and see if we could purchase on GSA contract. If y'all remember, 2 summers ago we did a committee which lasted all summer long. We started out with a few members, and it ended up to being about 13 or 15 members and community members and business people. And one of the major recommendations that came out of the committee was the close relationship between the town and the board of directors up there to work together to make things better up there, which in my eyes, my own personal opinion, I think it is a destination for Tupper Lake. I think the golf course draws people to the community. The way we're heading with our cross-country skiing and the grant that we just received for the pro shop to make that a winter time, I think we're heading in the right direction to do that. There was a time when we had a ski slope here that carried us through the winter months, and the golf course carried us through the summer months. With the recreation as lean as it's been, I think together, working with the cross-country skiing and the golf course, we can make that a year-round recreational playground. Our cross-country skiing, from the years that I've been on the board and listening to the people who come here, brag about it. They love it, and it's getting nothing but better every year. So I think that this is something that we should look at and move forward with, and help them out by purchase. That was another one of the recommendations, is that everything that they purchase, if they would purchase it through the town and reimburse us, they can get it by state contract without tax and at a cheaper price. We found that worked out very well this summer when they purchased a new Ventrac mowing machine. Again, when that is paid off in 5 years, 4 more years now, that'll belong to the town. They're paying for it, and it will be our property when it's done. So I think it's a win-win situation as far as
And I did receive an email from the vice president of the board, who is also overseeing the operation of the clubhouse today, with an attachment to the items that they're gonna purchase for the kitchen, and the ones that, somehow that attachment was blank. So the one thing, did you bring those sheets in today?
I do have them, yeah.
So when we were at the meeting last night, they gave us, this is just a ballpark, this is not a bunch of research or comparing prices or anything. This is just a rough estimate from a professional restaurant equipment vendor online. So a typical dishwasher for a business like that runs somewhere around the $4,000 mark, and of course, if we were gonna do that, I don't know that they don't have that. I didn't get a chance today to go on Office of General Services to see, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a listing for state contract pricing for that. I mean, the state has a lot of facilities, they must have kitchen equipment somewhere. So, and the other thing was, the sink, the 3-bay sink is just under $500, and this is just a retail store online. I've actually purchased things from this company myself a couple times. And the faucet set up with the washing and rinsing off of the dishes and all that is $336 on this estimate. So they're asking for the town to basically spend up to $5,000 for this reinvestment in the kitchen to replace basically the things that we had to remove out of there because they weren't properly usable a couple of years ago, and the new owner or the new renter wanted to have his own equipment in there, so. We'll put that on the agenda further down, but something to think about for a few minutes, and we'll make a decision on it as we proceed with the meeting for the sake of this part of the committee reports. Anything else?
They are having, they talked about and secured the dates for some fundraisers, which has been a very big asset for them. Their closing end of the year dance that they had up there, they made over $20,000 on that fundraiser. They're March 7th this year, they're having a big bowling tournament, and they're raffling off a 50-inch television. They're raffling off their
Smart TV.
Membership in a golf cart lease, and those are big sellers with the golfers, and they raise a lot of money on those. So,
Paul Pickerin's a super seller.
and they're also raffling off grade A seats at a Yankee versus Red Sox game at Fenway Park. So
Yeah. They get some good stuff
they
to
do.
raffle.
They got some very good stuff.
And then they do get a few things from around town that people, some of the local businesses donate to them.
You know, I
it's
do
really
want
nice.
to mention, Patty, that they said that they didn't always want to keep going to the same customers downtown, to the
Yep.
same businesses. They get beat up on.
They get
on
hit a
this.
lot.
So they're doing a lot of their own stuff. They're raffling off some golf clubs that the club has bought, and a putter. They got a nice Odyssey putter, and some of the shirts and things
Yeah.
that didn't sell, they'll be doing those on raffles. So
Yeah, they'll
they're
have
really thinking outside the box, and they're
auctions.
really not trying to beat up the local vendors in town, the businesses.
They have and they introduced us to a young man who's interested in, they haven't confirmed it yet, but taking over the kitchen.
And he's got a pretty good resume here.
Yeah.
He's a very young man. He's played in the Tupper Open many times, and he's got very positive
Knows the
attitude about
club.
coming here.
Got some good experience behind him, and
Yeah,
it's nice to see
Kingswood
young
Golf
people
Course in Hudson
stepping
Falls.
up. Yeah. So that's all good.
So, I do about the adults and after that's all right. We'll go back on for that.
You can just have our code officer go take a look at it.
Yeah. That's about what I have for today. Thank you.
Okay, all good. John?
I'd like to make note of a couple things with the highway department. If you notice in Bill's report, he talked about how the village and town went in on sharing a fuel tank for non-ethanol gas and sharing a new sandblaster. To me, that's, efficiency in government and
Very much so.
sharing of services and materials and goods. I think that's a good thing. I'm sure everyone, no doubt, has heard about the terrible fire they had over in the town of Franklin and destroyed their highway department garage. I had talked to Bill about maybe contacting the highway superintendent over there and see if there's anything we could do. Bill already did that.
Yeah.
He made an offer for equipment, which I thought was great. It's just, this is what happens when local government works together, and fortunately, they're all set with equipment for the time being, but Bill says we're a phone call away to offer what we can. So that's good. I attended the meeting at the village office this afternoon about water and wastewater matters. Our Water District 3, what's called the Tamarack Water District. They're waiting for a grant deferment agreement from the state to be executed so that about $1 million can be transferred to the town to settle up and close out the ban on that. on the anticipation note?
I think it's 1.5 when it's all
Okay.
said, or 1.25.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
You have that in there?
She said 1 million, but whatever.
I think there was
What's a
that's,
$250,000?
well, that's the big one is $1 million. There's another
Yeah.
small $250,000 one.
I guess that's all I have, because in the next item, discussion, the completion of the cross-country trail,
Yeah,
I'd like to
Talk
get
about
into some other things that are going on up there,
Yes.
just to keep the board up to date, so
definitely.
that concludes what I have to say, at least for now.
Okay, wonderful. Tracy?
The dog catcher had texted me this saying that he had been a busy month, but he didn't get a chance to bring down the report, but
It's okay.
he just had,
He's been very good at getting it on time of late. So-
right, so, it's got right here, so you guys wanna read
So
it? It's
go
here.
ahead and tell us what
This
you
is,
got.
he had one barking dog and one running at large and one running outside in the outside too long in the cold, so 3 complaints, nothing else, so.
And he does take care of those complaints immediately. So, although sometimes you can say my dog's running at large, you call the dog catcher, he comes down, the dog's nowhere to be found, so it's, you know.
Mhm.
You know,
It's
Wayne has
just the
been
way it is with
a little
dog catching.
delinquent sometimes with his reports, but from everything I hear, he's a good dog catcher. Takes
Yeah,
care of
I just
business.
have to remind him of the reports.
Yeah, you're good at that.
Between the
You're
plowing
good at
and the tree
reminding
cutting
him.
and bugs and stuff. And
He's busy.
obviously Angie does a great job, so I don't know.
Yeah. So, do we wanna talk about where the zoning is going on? We should probably just say that, you know, the zoning,
Well, I think,
the draft is gonna be
Right.
reviewed by the attorney soon, and,
based on the comments we got,
Yep.
Paul O'Leary has made some changes. We had
Yep.
a meeting, I think it was before our last monthly meeting, we reported on it.
Yep.
So the draft code is, in Kirk's hands, and once he's done with it, presumably it would go to the planning board for their review and recommendation to both the town and village boards for action.
and before anything gets adopted, there'll be a public hearing for people to come in and make comments, and of course, I would say that there's a lot of people that have a lot of comments about the zoning, but it would be really nice if they put their comments in writing and sent them to us. Left them at the thing, sent it at the office with Lori, sent an email in, and we'll make them a part of any of the, public hearing that we do, similar to what the state does. So, I think that's all good information, rather than just saying, oh, I wanna talk to you about it, and tell me about it, and I might remember it, and I might make a note of it, and I might forget it, so, you know, it would be nice if, people really had an opinion on it, they sent it in, and we have gotten some nice comments on it that were very informative. So, that's on my list, the zoning. Also, in December 3rd, we had the rail trail meeting that was at the Village High School, which was very well attended. And the DEC has finished all of their public comment periods, so that will be moving forward soon enough. I look forward to the day that the unit management plan is signed and we can get this project going. I don't know how it ended up over there in Old Forge the other night, but they had their last one the other day.
Yeah, actually gonna be another one. There's one in Utica.
Oh, yes, that's right. I thought that was the 9th. Was that yesterday, this week?
Yeah, actually I think
It's in January.
Oh, January.
actually I'm not exactly sure what the date is.
It's quite a bit.
19th.
I think it's the 19th also.
Yeah.
In December or?
I think December.
Yeah, because
I'm gonna look, yeah.
public comment, I think.
Was it 9th? I'm sorry, January 9th, well, yes, it must be December 9th.
I think they had it. I think they're all done now.
No,
They added one
Today's
more.
the 12th.
The Utica one wasn't done. yet.
'Cause
They
see-
added
Oh,
that.
was it?
because they didn't feel that it was fair that there was no other hearings outside of this area. They felt there should have been one also in
Down
Albany.
there. Where is it?
Utica.
It's in
And
Utica.
it's on the when?
19th.
Huh?
19th.
It was a
19th.
couple
I was
weeks
thinking of
that.
past.
Oh, okay.
this
Okay,
other stuff.
got it.
Yeah, yeah, and the press has put it out.
Mm.
I'd I'd like to make a comment about, first of all, Senator Little declaring her retirement and thanking her over and above for all the wonderful things she's allotted to the town of Tupper Lake and the village of Tupper Lake over these long years. It's been, one thing that's really nice about Betty is that you can call her and she picks up the phone, and you can call her cell phone and she calls you back. And I have to say that Billy Jones does too. They're very, very good about that. And I'm gonna draft a letter of thanks to her for her service to all of us, as well as, we received, at the last meeting, I talked about the $100,000 that Betty got us through a grant from DASNY, which is the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York, for this, a building addition that we've done. And that money is in the account, going to be, put on the, we got the wire in.
Did you get the cash? You did
We
it.
got the cash. We made the application in 2014 and we got the money in 2019. We got it. But they couldn't give it to us till the building was done. And then they got it processed, so it took a while for all that to happen. So anyway, that will go right on the bond for the debt of this building. So I wanna extend our.
So what does that leave you with debt on the, you get the 30 grand from the court stuff here and.
Oh, and speaking of that, we've been approved for another court grant.
Oh.
So that was Lori's diligence to file that application.
I think it was to get reclining chairs for the press.
No, you know, you have some nice chairs.
Massage and
And you did look at all the furniture shit, you took those away, we had no chairs.
I know.
Heated chairs coming in.
Is that sending a clear message to you or what?
We don't have to, you don't have to mince words.
Pretty
Di.
soon
You
it'll
don't
be
have-
standing room only. So that's good. What's that amount? Do you remember, Lori? I'm trying to think. 30?
I thought it was 6,000.
Yeah. What did we get for the grant? What was
Oh,
that?
we haven't gotten a total yet.
No, but what's the application? What did we apply?
30,000.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
So what are you
So
gonna do,
we'll
what are you gonna
see.
do, what are you gonna do, they have an idea?
What did we apply for in that? I know we applied for something, to change the door on the lift. What was the other thing?
We changed the door, the back door.
Oh, yes, to make this door automatic
Yep.
and put a new panic bar on
That
it.
door up, that back?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Oh, you mean it'll open up?
Automatically,
Oh.
yeah. What else?
Flags.
New flags, yeah.
for-
And a new logo like this on the
Logo.
desk to put on the wall
Yeah.
behind the judge. We tried to
Because
get them to, we put the application in to replace these 3 windows, but they denied it because this is not just a courtroom, it's a public room. So they denied that part of it.
Yeah. You're likely to approve redoing the doors.
Yeah,
Because it comes into the courtroom.
Yeah. isn't it?
These, I know,
It's all in the wording.
I'm sure there's something, some standard.
we'll take whatever they want us
That's right.
to call it.
Conference room.
Okay. Yeah. Very good.
So you got like a framed picture of the court clerk there, but it'll be,
Yeah.
may not have
We should.
time.
Should we need man and white back?
And lastly, yesterday I went to a nice open house at Mercy Healthcare, and Dan did too, and we crossed paths when I was coming, he was going, and Aaron was there. A lot of other people were there, throughout your 2-hour open house. It was wonderful. They're gonna have a daycare at Mercy.
Good.
And the kids are gonna commingle periodically with the, residents of the healthcare, so that's nice to get the.
Like a full-blown daycare, like you're
Yeah.
22 kids?
We'll be leasing the space, so it'll be an independent proprietor. And yeah, so it was fun yesterday.
So it'll be an independent person from Tupper Lake that'd be running this, somebody from Tupper Lake would run
Sarah
this space.
Price,
Yes.
Sarah Price.
Sarah.
That is an awesome idea.
Can you imagine being able to drop your kid off at the thing and then go to work
Upstairs.
upstairs?
Yeah.
downstairs?
But then, do they get to interact
So
with
is
the
it open
people
to
at
everybody
Mercy?
though, or just the employees?
Not
of
the whole time, but part of it,
Is it open to everyone?
yes.
Not
it's
just to the employees of
correct.
Mercy?
It's open to the community.
Oh my goodness.
And the plan is to have at least a couple of intergenerational activities each week. as much as we can.
And they were all in there together yesterday,
It's
and
very
oh my
fun.
gosh, it's adorable.
That's
to
gotta
see.
be fabulous for the
Yeah.
residents there.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Who does not like little kids?
Yeah.
There's a great picture of one of our residents who is
Well,
98,
you know,
99 years old, looking down at a 2.5, 3
Is
year
that a
old.
loaded
Yeah.
question?
Isn't that something right there?
You know,
98-year-old and
and
2-year-old.
bring a baby
Yeah.
in there, they're
It was
also.
adorable.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Got a nice campus of 4 or 5 rooms there, it's really nice.
Oh, I wish I would've went, that sounds like a great idea.
That's where they used to take tonsils out in Mercy, that's where they.
Is that where the dentist was?
Why is it they don't take tonsils out anymore? They used to take them over by the.
Oh, they do. They still, my son was 21 years old when they took his out.
Yeah, 'cause they didn't take them out when they were younger, and people don't wanna do anything to their kids nowadays.
It's a
So
nice
that's a whole
suite, it's a
different
nice
story
suite
for
of,
me.
Madeline should be
Yeah.
congratulated, it's
It's a
very,
nice
very
to
nice.
find out there.
Yes, that's
So
an
that was
awesome
a really
idea.
nice,
Thank you for coming. I
Yeah.
actually should have made a comment on it.
but it was
Appreciate
nice,
everyone
and
coming.
I wanna compliment you too, I did yesterday, but oh my goodness, you walk in there and it's so lovely and so immaculate. I just am impressed at how welcoming your lobby is and your hallway. Thankfully, I don't have to go there very often.
There you go.
But it's been a while. I did have a relative there for a while, and I was there a few years back, many times. But it's bright and clear and cheerful. And did you find it, Erin? And very, very, very.
Thank you.
And I love that you keep it so warm.
They call the main corridor Main Street, I thought it was kind of.
Ah,
Yeah, it's cute in there.
good idea. Huh. Do you have a junction in Uptown or what?
Upstairs is uptown, downstairs is downtown.
And we do at the beach, you know, in the beach grounds. We have a uptown and downtown at the beach. The people who live uptown that reside at downtown at the beach, and the people who live downtown reside uptown at the beach, and they just switch. So, yeah, well, that was very nice. I'm looking forward to that, and happy for Sarah and
Yeah,
happy
thank
for
you.
Mercy. And if I worked there, boy, that would be so convenient. I really love that idea. Okay, moving on. Well, good stuff. Okay, under old business, we have a discussion on we could have moved that right there, right? Well, that was really no, okay. Old business, a discussion on the completion of the cross-country trail projects we're doing up there. Go ahead, John.
Great.
Fill us in.
Just to bring you up to date on what's been happening up there lately, we've ordered signs using the town's new brand one will be at the highway on Route 30 where the ski slope road takes off, and one will be on the turn into the golf course. So those will be new. We've ordered trail markers. It'll be colored so that when you're out on the trail, you look at a map, you know what trail you're on. We're going to install new trail signs at each trail intersection that basically has a map of the trails and it says you are here. So that's all good stuff coming. I wanted to report that we had received a grant a gift, I guess, from the Infant Jesus of Prague Foundation, which Jerry Hayes administered, and that was set up.
Last year,
Yeah, but in whose
Roger Sullivan.
Roger and Kay Sullivan.
Okay, yeah.
Anyways, we received a gift of $10,000. We get $2,000 for each of the next 5 years. We've already received $2,000. That will be put in a special fund that will be used only for trail maintenance and improvements, equipment. We also received a bridge donation. Somebody had a bridge that measures 6 feet by 12 feet.
A physical bridge donation.
Bridge, that's
Okay.
right. And that's setting up on the side of the road to be installed soon. So we're saving some money there.
How big is it now?
6 feet by 12 feet.
A nice bridge.
There's a culvert up on the, I don't know if you know where the sharp corner is going up the ski slope. There's a drainage ditch that comes down there and it blows this culvert out with regularity during these big storm events. So this bridge should take care of that. That is on land that is owned by Preserve Associates. My understanding understanding is, from talking with Patty, that she had a conversation with Mike Foxman, who is in
I did.
continuing agreement to allow the town and its people to use and maintain the trails. We'll be getting a written agreement soon.
We have.
We have it. Awesome.
That's what we have to add to the agenda to authorize me signing it.
Okay. I started to sweat about completing the trail that will make 90% of the trails off the open golf course and into the woods. You probably heard me ad nauseum now talking about this trail between the driving range and the number 6 fairway and the road up to the ski slope. Well, Billy DeShane's crew swung into action, and they have been going great guns on it. They've completed the upland sections of it for the most part. And the village has generously allowed us to use their mini excavator, which Herbie Kentile is using, and he's a master at it. Unbelievable what he can do with it. And the village, in addition, has loaned its large excavator with operator Max Willett, who is another artiste on an excavator. And these guys are popping stumps and leveling, and there's been a steady stream of town trucks hauling sand up to cover the low areas on the trail and level it up, and hauling stumps and slash out of there. So about a few weeks ago, I had discussed with Paul O'Leary getting an RFP, request for proposal, for completing the trail, to hire it out. Billy, people's tax money is very precious to him. He doesn't spend anything he doesn't have to. He caught wind of that, and I think that prompted him into getting his crew up there. So I think what we'll have is a trail that will be completed except for 1, 2, 3 wetland crossings and a small stream crossing that has no wetlands on it. We have a permit from APA to bridge those wetlands. We're going to have to buy utility poles to serve as abutments and stringers for the bridge, as well as bridge decking and hardware to attach it. We have budgeted, probably have enough in the budget, especially since the town and village crew has really stepped up on trail construction. So hopefully this trail will be done and usable by not only skiers, but mountain bikers, fat tire bikes, bikers, snowshoers, you name it, walkers. You'll be able to start on that trail without interfering with the golf operation, since it'll be in the woods and not on the golf course. So I don't think an RFP is necessary at this time unless something goes dreadfully wrong, but hopefully this trail will get finished before
By the way,
next
the reason
season.
why Billy's not at this meeting tonight is because he's up there using one of the the mini himself all afternoon into the dark today. He was gonna go up there and do all that.
That's right.
He and Herbie were on the crew today.
Yeah, Bill went out and rented a skid steer with a bucket to move sand and like a clam type attachment,
Grapple.
a grapple,
Full
to
stumps.
haul stumps and slash, and they've just been going great guns. So
We wanna keep that moving.
we
while
want to
we
keep
have
that
the
moving.
veterans.
So I have found a source of telephone poles that are utility poles that I'm waiting for a call back on. We did buy some from Big Wolf Association at a bargain price of $250 for a 40-foot pole per pole. And they do have several left, so I want to talk to.
How many do you think we need?
Probably another dozen or so. We bought, I think, 6.
Yeah. It's coming nice. We're gonna have some good skiing, and
Yep, yep.
we have races up there with the schools and the local kids with our cross country ski. Well, by the way, up to 22 registered.
Oh, good. Good.
Yep.
Good.
So we're only 2 less right now than last year. And once the kids start, and they tell their friends, and then we get more. So we'll have a good crowd up there this year. And we also have our races schedules planned with invitationals and just come and play in the race game with us. We get kids from Lake Placid, Saranac Lake, Long Lake, Old Forge. A whole ski team comes over from Old Forge. It's fun. And the parents are all into it, and it's great. Yeah.
And then the
Good
other,
winter reason.
the other thing that's looking up is we have $100,000 smart growth grant to,
Yep.
I guess primarily for the pro shop, so it'll benefit the golfing.
Yep.
And it'll also benefit the skiing by providing a warm place with an indoor toilet rather than having to use a freezing cold porta-john.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then we won't have the porta-john in the
Yeah.
parking lot.
hopefully that takes care of doing that.
Hopefully we
so
can get
Yeah.
that done next.
That's been a
when the
mission
weather
we've been on
breaks.
for a long time.
And improve the water line going into the pro shop, which is needing of that too. That's
So I guess
our-
no board action is needed at this point. I was anticipating, when I asked if this be put on, that we would have to go out to bid for work on the trail, and I don't think at this point we're gonna have to, but it's always a possibility.
And we'll have another meeting before the end of the
Yeah.
year, so if
Yeah.
something comes up, we can deal with it then.
It's impressive the cooperation between Billy and the DPWs and the village water department.
Sure is.
I mean, people can say what they want, we work together all
Oh
the
my
time.
God,
Yes, we do.
it's awesome.
You know, whether
Yeah.
or not.
Well, and these guys are having a good time doing all
Yep.
this excavation work that they don't get. It's
Yeah.
kinda like
Village
playing for
trucks and
them.
town trucks and
Yeah.
excavators and.
And the volunteers, John Gillis, Eric Lanthier,
John
they've been up
Quinn.
there. I went up there until I bent a bar on my chainsaw and
Oh.
broke the second one, so my days as a lumberjack are numbered.
Paul Bunyan, you're
I
not.
wanted to make stumps so Max could pull them out. I made a few and then it's too much like work.
Yeah. Lots of good volunteers.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So things are looking up, and I appreciate the board's support.
Well, we're gonna have skiing in Tupper Lake.
In one way or another.
That's it. We have skiing,
We do.
you know?
Yep.
We'll get the other version at another time, but for now we have skiing.
Yep.
So under new business, we need 16.1, we'll approve the agreement for law enforcement services with the village. This is our annual agreement with them at the, for 2020. And it is for $25,000 that we put in the budget every year to have a relationship with the village police department.
Same agreement.
Same exact agreement, word for word, and thank you, Kirk.
I'll move that we approve the agreement.
I'll second it.
John and Mike. Questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Alright.
Aye. And this is our annual agreement for 2020 for the Tri-Lakes Humane Society, which has been a wonderful relationship we reestablished a few years ago. Kind of got let by the wayside there for a little bit. And we're appreciative of the agreement with them. So we
That hasn't changed either, right?
no,
What's
No.
the sum, Patty?
the sum on that is
$3,060.
$3,060.
Cheap.
And if you could explain what happens with that when
So
our
we,
dog catcher has,
so we keep a dog in the pound for, I think, no more than 7 days. And then it gets transported to the Humane Society and they
if no one claims
hopefully,
it.
if no one claims it. And we hope they find a home for it. So, it's a nice relationship we have. We don't have to deal with that. And, the dog doesn't have to stay in our pound that long and hopefully they get adopted.
They get very good care over
Yep.
there.
Very good care.
Has to be
And
just kennel
speaking
feeder.
of volunteers, they have a good group of them as
Yeah,
well.
that's a question.
Where's the pound?
It's just when you come into Saranac Lake on the left-hand
No,
side.
pound.
Oh, the our pound?
Yeah.
Oh, down at, by the transfer station,
Oh, I thought so.
past
Okay,
Little
okay.
Wolf, yeah.
Okay.
And then they have Tri-Lakes Humane Societies over in Saranac Lake, so our dog catcher will, transport the dogs if needed.
I'll make a
Okay.
motion to accept the agreement with the Tri-Lakes Humane Society.
I'll second.
2020.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is to reappoint Gary Lanthier to the Board of Assessment Review. Gary's been on this for a very long time. He does a very good job, and his term is up for renewal. And he's agreed to, continue in that position. Could I please get a motion for that?
I'll make a motion.
Mike?
I'll second. How long is that term, Patty?
3 years.
Is it 3 years?
Yep.
He's been on since April of 1999, just
Yep.
about 20 years.
Yeah, and he does a good job. He works the position.
Yeah.
Roll call vote.
Aye.
We have a very good Board of Assessment review here. And so we need to set the date for the year-end meeting. Now, I know, John, you'll be away for that. This is a end of the year meeting where we approve vouchers basically, and anything else we have to tidy up for the calendar, which is our fiscal year. So what looks good to you two?
The 30th.
The 30th, Monday?
Yes.
Okay?
That looks
What
good to
time?
me.
What time?
Any time is good for
Tracy?
me.
Anytime.
On Monday? Could we do it at noon?
Sure.
Fine with us.
So December 30th at noon.
I would rather get it earlier
Okay.
in the day.
Yeah, that's fine.
We can go earlier than noon
Yeah.
if you want.
Noon is fine.
Okay.
That would be good.
So we'll have a regular meeting a special meeting on December 30th at noon to close out the year. Okay. 16.5, to consider resolution for shared services for the New York State Archives grant application with the village. So this is a resolution I'll read and it'll pretty much explain it. Whereas the town of Tupper Lake desires to partner with the village of Tupper Lake for shared services grant application to the New York State Archives Local Government Management Fund for a comprehensive municipal records inventory. And whereas pursuant to the LGRMIF application guidelines, it is necessary that each partner formally appoint a records management officer, or RMO, formally adopt the appropriate records retention and disposition schedule, and execute a cooperative agreement. And whereas the project requires a permanent commitment from partnering communities to sustain the results of the project, and now therefore be it resolved that the town of Tupper Lake does hereby authorize and direct its supervisor to appoint Lori Fuller as its RMO, adopt the MU1 records retention and disposition schedule for municipal governments, execute the LGRMIF grant cooperative shared services agreement and letter of intent, and asserts a permanent commitment to work with the village of Tupper Lake and partnering communities to sustain the results of the GIS project. So this is a GIS project and records management. So the village will be doing some GIS work and we'll be doing some records retention and management for some of the records that are in the vault, correct?
Both votes.
Both vaults. So it's, we applied for this, did we apply for this last year?
We did.
And we did not get the
We
grant.
didn't get the grant.
And then we weren't gonna apply for it this year because the village was gonna do a separate GIS only for mapping of their water and sewer, infrastructure. And then somehow that application had to be, 3 parties involved in it, and we didn't need to be a party to that, because we already have ours done. That we did a couple of years ago with a grant that we got through DANK. And so that possibility for that grant for the GIS was, canceled somehow. The state canceled that part of it. So this opened it up for this records management again for all of us, so we're gonna jointly do that. And the village will be the lead on this. We're gonna join them on this, so we get a motion to authorize that application.
Move.
John.
Second.
Tracy. Roll call vote.
Aye.
Thank you.
Won't be swimming in paper.
Oh my goodness, huh?
Put it in digital form.
Yep. So now back to the local law business that we were doing, and back to Kirk's instructions here. On our agenda it's 16.6, but we're gonna move over to Kirk's. So we need a motion. We sent out to the board ahead of time to review the seeker application which would confirm that it is a negative declaration and to pass a resolution for the seeker application. So this is the action I need on local law number 1, which is sewer. So we need to have a motion to confirm these 3 things. The board has reviewed the seeker, which you should have all reviewed because you had it in your packet a while. Lori sent it out early, in fact.
It was mailed to us.
And confirm that it is a negative declaration, which we state, and pass a resolution for seeker. Do I need to read that resolution, Lori?
No,
Concur?
it's been in the board, package, it's been
Yeah,
available to the
everybody's
public.
seen it.
Right.
So.
As far as the EAF goes, Kirk, there's a bunch of boxes that aren't checked.
If
Is
you-
that okay?
It's because it's a local law, you skip all,
Beautiful.
yeah, you skip down to the next section. Yeah.
Okay.
So we need a motion for those 3 things at
Which would
first.
be A, B, and C.
Yeah,
I'll make the motion to move those.
okay, Mike, second,
I'll second.
Tracy, and roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so now we need action on passing a resolution for local law number 1 for the consolidated local law 2019-1, and this is to adopt an implementation report for sewer district consolidation. We have an implementation, we already adopted it, and the town board has reviewed the local law and held a public hearing that we just did earlier tonight, and considered the proposal for local law number 1, 2019, and the town board has fully considered and reviewed the seeker relating to sewer district consolidation and passed a resolution prior, and the town board desires to adopt local law 2019-1 on behalf of the town of Tupper Lake, and hereby adopts and confirms the following resolution. Resolved, that the town of Tupper Lake hereby adopts local law 2019-1 as of December 12th, 2019, titled Town of Tupper Lake Sewer District Consolidation of Districts 8-2 and 16 into District 1 Local Law 2019-1, and in doing so, shall consolidate the town districts, and it is further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute any documents to accomplish the foregoing. And I need a motion and a second.
I'll make the motion.
Tracy.
Second.
John. Questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Aye.
Alright, this stuff gets a little monotonous, but we've got to go through the motion. Okay? So thank you for that. So now we're gonna go on to discussion and action on local law 2019-2, which is the water part of this. So we also need a motion for these 3 items to confirm the board has reviewed seeker for the water district consolidation of 18-2 and 16, or 8-2 and 16, to confirm that it is a negative declaration and to pass a resolution for seeker.
I'll move Patty A through C, please.
Okay, Mike? Second?
I'll second.
Lucy? Roll call vote?
Aye.
Okay, alright. And this, next action is to pass a resolution for local law 2019-2, which is the water consolidation. This is, the adoption of the local law is this where I'm going, Kurt? What's this? Yes.
That should be your yellow W.
Oh, the yellow W, that's the W, okay. This is where the town of Tupper Lake adopted an implementation report for water district consolidation and has introduced local law 2019-2 to adopt the implementation of the water district consolidation, and whereas the town board has reviewed the local law provided, and whereas the town board held a public meeting on December 12th, 2019, for purposes of public comment and input regarding the local law, And whereas the town board has fully considered proposed local law 2019-2 and public comments, and whereas the town board has fully considered and reviewed seeker relating to water district consolidation and passed a resolution prior hereto regarding seeker, and whereas the town board desires to adopt local law 2019-2 on behalf of the town of Tupper Lake. Therefore, the town board hereby adopts and confirms the following resolution. Resolved, that the town of Tupper Lake hereby adopts local law 2019-2 as of December 12th, 2019, titled Town of Tupper Lake Water District Consolidation of Districts 8-2 and 16 into District 1, local law 2019-2, and in doing so shall consolidate the town districts. And it is further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute any documents to accomplish the foregoing. May I please have a motion on that?
Moved.
John? Second. And Tracy? Roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now, one more.
Two more.
Two more? So our agenda is a little bit, Kirk's is the one we're following now because we put our, that in a different order. So, and Kirk has all the documentation here attached. We color coded so nicely. Discussion action on sewer map amendment made to comply with local law 2019-1. So this is about the map that we had to hire C2AE at the last meeting, where they did a new map to bring those two water districts and sewer districts that are paid off into existing water and sewer district number 1. So everything's now consolidated into one map. And just as a reminder, all of our maps can be found on the DANK website. You can go on their website and you go to Town of Tupper Lake, and all of our maps and GIS mapping and everything that we do, DANK does with and for us, is on their website, open to anyone who needs it. If you're a builder, if you're a developer, if you're a consultant, all that information is there. If you're just curious, go ahead. So, this is about the map, which we have.
Matt, planning report.
A map planning report, and do we actually, I printed out a map in my,
We
Lori
have,
can't, Lori
we have-
Lori's got
we have
the,
the report.
yeah.
Okay, okay, so everyone's seen the map. We should have put it on.
Yes.
That's what we did.
We'll start with you.
Yeah, so we're gonna adopt the next 3 items similarly to sewer and to water like we did in a moment ago. So we're gonna confirm that the board has reviewed the seeker documentation, which you've received in the mail. Confirm that it is a negative declaration as so stated, and to pass a resolution for seeker. So could I please get a motion to those 3 items?
I'll make a motion.
Tracy
I'll second it.
and Mike. Roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And now we're gonna pass a resolution adopting the amended sewer map. Water district map.
Should be the blue one. Or the red one, I'm sorry. Red one that says SM on it. It would be the sewer map. Toward the back. Yeah.
Make sure I'm reading the right thing, please. That's right here, it says water, I'm right on the wrong one, I think. That one? You might want to just change that to sewer.
Yeah, that's the sewer district.
Yeah. Okay, that's what threw me. Okay. Okay. And the yellow is water. Okay, got it. Okay, so this is the resolution we're gonna pass for the map. Whereas the town of Tupper Lake has adopted local law 29.1 to adopt a sewer district consolidation, and whereas the town board has reviewed the map provided in connection therewith, and whereas the town board has fully considered the proposed map, and whereas the town board has fully considered and reviewed seeker relating to the map and passed a resolution prior hereto regarding seeker, and whereas the town board desires to adopt the map on behalf of the town of Tupper Lake, therefore the town board hereby adopts and confirms the following resolution. Resolved that the town of Tupper Lake hereby adopts the town of Tupper Lake Sewer District Number 1 map as amended. So could I get a motion to that, please?
I'll make a motion.
Tracy,
Second.
John, roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we will run that show for water. I know,
Procedure.
such an exciting thing to do.
I know, it's a blast.
You guys all still with us?
It's even more fun to draft it all.
Okay.
If you have insomnia, we're glad you
Yeah, all right.
We have coffee. So this is about discussion and action on water map amendment made to comply with local law 2019-2. So we're gonna confirm the board has reviewed the seeker. We're gonna confirm that it is a negative declaration as stated on the seeker form, and to pass a resolution for seeker. So may I please have a motion to that effect?
I'll make the motion, Patty.
Mike,
Second.
Tracy, and roll call vote.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
very good. And now we're going to adopt this resolution on water. Get the right one here. Whereas the town of Tupper Lake has adopted local law 2019-2 to adopt a water district consolidation, and whereas the town board has reviewed the map provided in connection therewith, and whereas the town board has fully considered the proposed map, and whereas the town board has fully considered and reviewed seeker relating to the map and passed a resolution prior hereto regarding seeker, and whereas the town board desires to adopt the map on behalf of the town of Tupper Lake, therefore the town board hereby adopts and confirms the following resolution. Resolved that the town of Tupper Lake hereby adopts the town of Tupper Lake Water District Number 1 map as amended. May I please get a motion to that effect?
Go ahead, Mike.
I'll move it.
Oh, second.
You guys are awesome.
Points.
Questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Aye.
So be it. We have done the deed. Thank you,
Imagine
Kirk,
Thanks,
for
Kurt.
all of that
that.
direction.
Two budget hearings and all that. for that.
It's
Process
certainly-
works, and maybe
Public hearing.
cumbersome, but it works.
Yes, and I knew I had the maps printed out here somewhere. There they are, if you wanted to get a big magnifying glass and
Yeah.
look at these maps. They are here for your review.
Yeah.
Consolidated sewer district and the consolidated water district. I was curious if it says in there how many districts, there are now.
Enough.
It doesn't say in there.
It doesn't?
Not now, no.
All right, so all of that done. Let's make sure we got everything. Oh.
1611.
1611, this is to accept a bid. We went, last meeting, we authorized the highway superintendent to go to bid for a pickup truck we replaced a pickup truck in the highway department, and I don't have the details on that truck. We put on Auctions International, a 2005 pickup truck. And we accepted bids until yesterday, and the high bid came in at $4,000 for a 2005 pickup truck. So I would like to have board authorization to accept that bid for $4,000.
I did talk to Bill DeShane, and he recommends that we accept that bid.
Yeah.
I think he said something like, take the money and run. Truck served us well, but
Read
14
between the
years
lines.
later, it's not so
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah. Considering the village sold a fire truck tanker for $1,500,
This is a deal.
and it's for sale right now.
For 10,000.
for 10,000 after it's been stripped down.
Did they sell it on Auctions International for that?
No,
They did it
with no minimum bid.
Oh, yeah,
And there's people that are regretting this fire truck was sold.
I'm sure.
I'll move that we accept the bid of $4,000 for the 2005
Great.
pickup truck.
I'll second it.
Mike? And roll call vote?
Aye.
We're happy. Auctions International is amazing because it goes everywhere. It's not just putting an ad in the, sorry Dan, free press where 12 people might bid on it. If you're lucky, you get 12 people to bid on it, you know, and for things like that. So this worked out so well.
It's been very good to us.
And what happens is we just say, we approve it, Billy lets the guy know, and in a week or 10 days, we have a wire transfer of the amount. And the person who bids it pays, you know,
$1,500 for a tanker.
to the company. So that's good. So,
Tires alone.
16
Brand new
point,
tires.
pardon?
I'm sorry. That's okay.
16.12 is to, I would like to get authorization to execute this agreement for cross-country ski trail access on the property presently owned by Preserve Associates, up outside the Tupper Lake Golf Club. It's signed by Mr. Michael D. Foxman, today. So the other day, sure, John has done a great job of, making an effort to get this signed. We had it signed last year so we can access their property. We don't like to trespass, so we like permission to be on people's property. So lucky enough, I came into the town office the other day and very lucky enough and very thankful, placed a call to Mr. Foxman. I haven't spoken to him in several years, and I left a message, and then I was just typing an email to him, hoping that that was the correct email address still. And the phone rang, and it was Mr. Foxman. And I was appreciative of his quick response and explained what we were looking for. This agreement, it's the same one that was approved by their attorney and our attorney, and just to add another year to it. And he said, I'm happy to, absolutely happy to let you do that and help yourself, enjoy it. And I said, I'll send you the agreement. He said, send it to me and I'll get it right back to you signed, which he did. So today I opened my email and I came in the office and it was there, and he'd like us to send him an executed copy, so he has one signed by both parties. So very good, and he did say, you know, if we needed to do that culvert work up there on the curve, to go ahead and do it. So we have permission from the, yeah. So nice. So could I get a motion to authorize executing this agreement, please?
Moved.
Second.
Without hesitation.
Yeah.
And I see the
And with
agreement runs
appreciation.
until, the agreement runs until May 1st of 2020.
Yep.
So that gets us through the winter and
Full the
spring.
Full season. Roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye.
And I'd like to thank Mr. Foxman for being so attentive to the town and very, very pleasant to discuss this with. 16.13. This is regarding the highway equipment that is currently down at Mitchell's garage and normally at the Tupper Lake Golf Club for their use during their season. It's ours.
Yes.
It's a piece of equipment that was donated to the town by the school a few years ago.
The school was surplusing this equipment a couple of years ago, and I spoke with Mr. Bauer and Mr. McGowan, and they were glad to be able to write that off to the town. So we got the Kubota all-wheel drive tractor. They used it at the golf course. This will be the second year that they used it. And when they let us have it, they told us that the clutch was going to be in need of repair sooner or later. Well, we went 2 seasons with it, and it's finally time for that repair to be done. I got a hold of Charlie Mitchell, and he has taken the tractor and gave us an estimate of $3,500 to repair the tractor. You have to break the tractor right in the middle to get to the clutch. It's called a wet pack, where the clutch and the transmission comes as one. So he's going to replace all of it, and he's ready to roll, just waiting on our approval.
how's the rest of the condition of the rest
The
of it?
tractor is, I would, in my personal, I researched buying them. All the ones I found on Craigslist and on eBay, without a cab, were going anywhere from 14 to 17,000. This has got the heated cab on it and everything, so in my opinion, it's probably worth $18,000 to $20,000. And it's got minimal hours on it, so I think
We got a lot of money on us.
besides that, they don't have any other piece of equipment to work up there with it, so it's definitely worth its weight.
So your opinion is it will be money worth well
Yes.
spent? I
Very,
would certainly
very-
support that, then, like, if you care to make a motion.
Yep, I'll make the motion that we approve the $3,500 to have Mr. Mitchell repair it.
Second.
Thank you.
Questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Aye.
I agree. Okay, so our final item, before our second round of public comment would be, do we want to invest in this, kitchen equipment? And we could make this a resolution saying not to exceed, or, you know, these are not exact prices, they're estimates, so I'm saying around the, under $5,000.
Was it just for the sink and the nozzle though, were they buying the dishwasher?
Yeah, no, they want us to buy the dishwasher, the sink and the nozzle, they're gonna buy all the other stuff, a stove, a sandwich board, another cooler, and, you know, all the other, they're gonna spend more than we are, that's for sure.
They were saying they want to spend between $5,000 and $7,000. And everything that they purchase will belong to the town.
Yeah.
There'll be no his ors, you know, it's gonna be all town property, as is the Ventrac mowing machine that they're paying for.
So when the dishwasher breaks and the vendor's up to the operator of the kitchen is gonna call us, the town, since it's our equipment. Up until now, hasn't it been the country club that's seen to it
And
that?
The last vendor that was there brought his own stuff in, cause our stuff was antiquated. The sink didn't pass. Of course, if you remember, the stove was redlined by the gas company. They said that we will not put gas in that stove. So that stuff was all taken out. Well, this last move, they took the sink and the dishwasher that was there, and it's been scrapped, and it did belong to us. It should have been scrapped, yes.
Yeah, everything should have been. It wasn't bad that
So
we got rid of stuff.
it now becomes incumbent on the town,
To repair it, yes.
and as long as we all understand that if something breaks and it's on the weekend and things are hopping, we're gonna be expected to pay somebody to go up there.
As the big water, the propane water tank that they have up there, hot water tank, that broke on a Sunday. We had somebody go up there and fix it. I mean, we're the landlords of the building.
Yeah,
I mean, typically, if I rent a house from you, it usually comes with a stove and a refrigerator and a sink.
Yeah.
As a landlord, you would be responsible, so I see it akin to that.
yeah.
I guess I'm a little uncomfortable with, two things. You know, a 3-bay sink, I'm told that that's something the health department requires now. And the dishwasher, is that the right size for whatever dishes and pots and pans that need to be washed?
It's-
And is it the right one? Because I don't think there's anyone on the country club board, and I don't think there's anyone on this board that know how to know what it takes to have a kitchen furnished and run properly.
Yeah,
So I hate to spend
There
money
was a-
that is not the wrong piece of equipment.
So there was a potential, leasee for that restaurant recently, and that didn't work out, it was someone of interest. And they had their plumber up there with them when, were you with me that day? You were
yes.
there. And this is what they're recommending,
Okay.
For the
So-
size.
Okay.
yeah,
Might be more comfortable with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
so it wasn't just a bunch of us
And-
saying, oh, let's just buy a dishwasher.
Now it sounds like they may have another entity to operate the kitchen.
They're interviewing, the guy was there yesterday
They're
with
just-
them. He's
They're
been
under
there for 2
discussion,
days.
yeah,
But that's nothing final, and that's between them and,
yeah.
Well, I'd hate to pay to equip a kitchen that's not gonna be used.
yeah.
So I'd like to have some confidence that it's
Their
happening.
plan is, if they don't get anyone, they're gonna try to do it themselves. They wanna have that place functional for the summer, which I
I
think
think
is,
it makes sense.
makes sense.
And didn't you wanna cap it at a certain amount that we would
Yeah.
give them anyway, and then whatever
Yeah.
they have to, if that equals more than that, they'd have to.
I mean, we're not just gonna go order one tomorrow, we're gonna.
Right,
work this
there's
thing
gonna be
through.
more research on it.
Yeah,
Right, and you want to cap it at 5,000?
I would say
I would definitely.
So these two pieces of equipment
Combined,
are on the open market, they're not state contract,
No.
presumably we can get,
exactly.
hopefully we can get a
Brand
better deal on
Yeah.
state contract.
yeah, we'll do some research on it.
This was information for us to present to the board, for me to present to the board, so you could see what we're looking at. It doesn't
Still a
necessarily
little more
have
work
to be
needs to
that,
be done on
that
the,
company.
on the final totals, that's all.
And with the dishwasher, I think we would get 2 bids anyway, wouldn't we?
Oh, yeah,
The sink,
unless it's on
$500
state
item,
contract,
yeah.
unless it's on state contract, then you don't need to.
If I may, just generally to John's point about the lease and that type of thing, when you have a lessee in any kind of commercial venture, if it's a repair that's due to their negligence, if you
Yeah.
will, then that falls
I
on
think
them.
that's in our lease too, right?
It is,
Kirk?
it would
It's
be,
gonna-
yeah, and it's a standard provision, so
Okay.
in a situation like you bring up, if the town had to repair something on a Saturday or cause it to be repaired, and it turned out that it was something that was, not a routine maintenance thing or a defect,
Yeah.
or,
From
then,
negligence.
yeah, and then you're gonna have a conversation with them about who pays for it ultimately.
Mhm.
That's a good idea.
It's in there,
It's in the lease, yeah.
it's already, those things are
Yeah.
standard.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
I have a food service degree.
Ah.
You have to have a wash,
I'm
a
on.
rinse and a sterilise. So usually your third sink has to have some form of heat to sterilise. I don't know what they're looking at.
It's a 3-bay sink.
Yeah.
Can you use like a bleach compound for sterilization?
I believe you can, yes, but
That's
you have
what
to
the
have
bar,
a
yeah.
wash, you have to have a rinse,
Yeah, it's a 3-bay.
you have to have a sterilise.
Yes, we have a bar.
Thanks, that's helpful.
Okay,
Do you wanna run a kitchen?
I did so for many, many years. School food service, actually.
No.
So, make a motion, please.
Have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we go up to $5,000 to purchase the equipment that we're looking at after we go through state contract and see what they have to offer in the state contract for this type of equipment.
So not to exceed $5,000 for the dishwasher and sink faucet combination.
Yeah, 3-bay sink, stainless steel.
Appropriate dishwasher, right, would that be okay?
That would be fine.
So we have a motion on the table. Would anyone like to make a second?
I'll second.
Tracy? Questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
thank you.
Okay,
One thing I didn't report on, that can be very quick,
go.
is the broadband, the
Oh,
fiber
yeah,
optic.
yeah.
We did send out a survey, and it was mailed. We also have it on Survey Monkey.
I replied.
I have not checked Survey Monkey, but I have checked my mailbox, which is bulging with returned paper copies. I don't know how many, I think we sent over, a little over 120 out, and I don't know how many are in there, but,
If you get 50% back, that's a wonderful
Yep.
survey.
Yep.
That's like huge.
but
I sent 2 in.
stuff in the ballot box, right? So, our committee will be meeting after the holidays, and we will tabulate that and see where it goes.
Wonderful.
Sorry to,
I do
sorry that
have
you
to
didn't think of
compliment
that
John
sooner.
on the people that you have on that committee are just so much knowledge, it's unbelievable. We're so fortunate to have Joe and Phil and the girls even, and
Yeah, it's awesome.
yeah.
Okay, 3-minute comment period. Mr. Lampier.
What I have noticed lately, quite frequently actually, is the zoning board has been scheduling their meeting on the same night as the village board meeting. And I was wondering if there's anyhow that they can do some better coordination, because Pete Edwards can't be in both places at once,
Oh,
and neither can the press. And neither can I if I want to be here or there.
Yep.
So that I want to get
so those
across.
are- What is that regular Wednesday now that
Uh,
the village meets?
Actually, I'm not going to.
Yeah, the village meets on the 3rd Wednesday, the planning board meets on the 4th, but sometimes it gets weird with and they.
Are you,
Yeah.
you're
But-
talking about the planning board or the zoning
The
board?
zoning board.
No, the plan's not with the plan.
The planning board,
Oh,
okay.
anyway.
So this month coming up will be 3 times on the village board meeting night. And then there was one once regular, so that's one, that's quite often.
Yeah. So
That's
As far as December goes, check with
There's no
Mr.
planning
O'Leary, 'cause
board
I think
meeting in
they-
December.
I don't
It was
think there's an
canceled.
agenda, so they called
Okay,
it off.
did they put out a,
They canceled the
Uh,
planning
There's a
board.
notice
was
on the
it-
board upstairs, I have to.
okay, cause see, that is the other thing too that I'm still concerned about is, and Pete Edwards actually mentioned to me too, cause he heard me what I had said at the last meeting, he says, you guys can put a bulletin board out there because public offices or public buildings and schools can put the same boards out as a police department and as a school. And I think it's real
You
important.
mean a electronic sign?
Yeah, and I think it's real important that the public knows when these meetings are, because and I think that they should be coordinated so that way everyone can be involved.
I
Yeah, I agree.
duly noted, yeah.
Yep, thank you.
Sure. Okay, I think the planning board pretty much always met on Wednesdays, right?
Yeah, they meet the fourth Wednesday, but for some reason, I don't know why they've been meeting on the third.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it almost seems like they're avoiding people.
Just a coincidence? Is that what
I
we're
think it's because of the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's last.
but I think that if it's not, then they should put it on a different day or maybe change it by an hour or two. But it should be so that way everyone can attend both
What time
meetings.
was the village board meeting?
They're at 6 o'clock.
6?
And the planners now meet at 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's,
Have you mentioned this to the planning board?
I haven't actually, and I've only been to one of their meetings, and they really don't have any public discussion.
No, unless it's a public hearing.
Exactly. So that's why I haven't been able to do it. And
Because
I mean, we'll certainly-
everything they do
We'll
is a
certainly
public
mention it
hearing.
to.
exactly,
John.
yeah,
Yeah,
because I do think that it's a situation.
yeah.
Thank
We'll
you.
mention it to them.
First we heard of it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's why I bring it up. I was thinking about it. I was gonna bring it up at the beginning, but I said I wanted to hear what you had to say. And I have another suggestion.
Okay.
Is I was wondering if you guys could advertise it on the radio station, the local radio station that's been airing in this area.
What is the call numbers on that again?
Do we have?
It's 102.1.
Is that still active going on?
It's still active. I listen to it all the time.
This is serious radio.
And
That's WRGR, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah. And we can pick up on the information from there.
The Lake Placid station owns it now as well. W.
We can look into it.
Okay, yeah, and it's owned by NCPR.
Huh?
It's an NCPR corporation. It's owned by NCPR.
That one's not. No, that's the radio station in Lake Placid. I believe they've merged with that.
Okay.
W. What is it?
IRD.
No, not IRD. That's the
Where do they
SLP. I
broadcast
think
on?
it's 105.1.
I think they're right out of the Pines in Lake Placid. It's a hotel.
And it's a Tupper Lake radio.
It's a simulcast.
And actually, I could pick it up all the way to Blue Mountain Lake.
Okay, we'll try it.
So literally, I
Is
can
that part
drive
of
to
what
work
they're doing in
and
Plattsburgh
listen to what
too?
they're saying, and I do listen to what they're
How's the
saying.
music on?
It's excellent. Yeah, actually, I like them.
Classic rock.
Yeah, they don't have too much of the mainstream media, which I like. Yeah.
All right,
Good.
on to the next.
We can look into it. John?
Just a quick question. You don't have a sidewalk plow, usually,
Pardon me?
you don't have a sidewalk plow. You use the
Okay.
village.
We
Sidewalk.
don't use the village. The village owns and operates a sidewalk plow.
Okay, so they come down here and plow this.
Yes.
Why can't you work out an agreement with them to plow the sidewalk up there that you own? You can't work out an agreement.
I think I mentioned already that we'll speak to Mr. DeShane about that, and the highway departments can talk about it.
Could you work out an agreement or talk to them about that?
I'll speak to Mr. DeShane about it.
Okay.
One thing in talking with Bill DeShane at that apartment building, there's a utility pole right in front of it. Where,
That's my apartment.
Where
It's
the
very,
wall
it's,
can't
it's
physically
incredibly
fit through
dangerous
there.
to be there.
I don't know that to be the case, but that's what I'm told.
I think you can get by that with a sidewalk, but yeah, it's not that close to the sidewalk. The sidewalks exist.
Thank you.
No, there's no pole in front of it, it's on the sidewalk though.
Oh, it's in front of my place. There's a pool there, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not in the sidewalk.
No, you can still go,
Yeah.
the sidewalk is still
Do you
free.
think that sidewalk top can fit through there?
Oh, yes,
Yeah, or go around it one day.
very easily.
Yeah, I think so. It's not right.
Okay.
It's,
Oh, yeah, but the whole thing is still up in the.
Yeah, the sidewalk starts by the old bank
Yeah.
and comes right down through.
And the plough comes all the way up to there.
But you know that, it just right in front of that building is maybe a problem where they might have to go out and around somehow, I don't know.
I can take it through there, Johnny. I'll check it out.
We'll take the front
Why don't
steps
you
off that
shovel all
building
that
and
while you're on it?
I just take my plow and I just push it out. I can shovel outside. You, John, you like to do that, right?
Give me a call.
Chop down the pole.
I like to chop down the pole.
Madeline, you have anything for us tonight from Mercy?
I do not.
Awesome. Thank you for coming.
No problem.
Anyone else?
I do. I hope everyone has a nice Christmas and Happy New Year.
Certainly. Merry Christmas to
Merry
everyone.
Christmas.
Let's have a motion to
2020.
adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
So, when's the town Christmas party? Are they having cocktails and stuff or no?
Oh, December 16th. So I don't have to go into exec for